Now, when VC Pop dropped her animated pilot of Hess Temple Hotel, one of the characters became super popular, be Alastor. But during this point, everybody wanted to see who will win in the fight, be Alastor or Black Cat. And I can see why that people were interested to see them fight because of how similar they actually are and how powerful and equal they actually are. The only problem is we didn't know enough information or understand their abilities fully. It's just sort of too sudden, too soon to actually understand. Nowadays, we have so much information about them that actually you can pin them together to actually figure out who actually wins. The only problem is they won't fight because you actually know them enough to understand their motivation to fight. In the very end, they're just too sentimental to fight. In fact, this is sort of probably the five or six reason why they actually won't fight. Even they actually force them, they probably won't fight because at the very end, their interests are so similar that they have waste more time than actually do fighting. And that's sort of my opinion. In fact, you could completely disagree with me if you believe these two will actually fight. If you pin them together, that's your opinion. That be fine. But at the same time, I can see why the people want to see them fight, or I could do actually if I concentrate or think enough, I could see them maybe fighting, but it have to be very good reasons why. Because if you do force two characters to fight, it have to be legitimately interesting. Why? Because at the very end, if they just fight because they're fighting, that means they're not being the true characters. At least that's my perspective. In fact, this is me I make this video to show you five or maybe six reasons why they never actually fight and their similarities, and maybe two to three reasons why, not just for fun. In other words, how who will win if they're actually forced to fight. That's two or three different reasons how the fight would actually end. In other words, at least for fun. I mean, very end, I don't believe they'll actually fight just for kicks and gags, just to find out who actually wins. In my opinion, at least. Is your opinion? Who put these two characters together? Who will actually win? In your honest opinion. All of that, let's get started. Before, my name is Recho. I like to talk about animation, not just animation, reviews, first impressions, cartoon theories, and sometimes, if I have spare some time, I have cartoon breaking news. Of course, I really like if you like where this is going to put a like, comment, and subscribe if you feel this video is interesting for you. One of those things really help my channel because let's face it, I am a small channel. Any one of these three really helps me so much. If not, that's okay. Now let's get started in the video you are clicking on. One of the first reasons I believe they two will never fight is because what category villains they actually are. They're thinker villains. In fact, you could say they're multiple kind of cross-world type of demons, like they're thinker, gentleman, or viney type villains. But at the very end, there are thinker type of villains. And the reason why they won't fight is because they would probably send their own henchmen to fight before them. Because let's face it, thinker villains don't fight. They do not fight, depends on the writer, how they write the character. But at the very end, they just sit down and study their target. They never really go hand to hand. Only they feel they're necessary or they want to actually do the final blow. But basically that I think is one of the reasons why I never believed these two will actually fight. They were basically analyzing themselves to realizing this sort of kind of pointless, walk away. That's probably one of the reasons. The second reason why I believe they will not fight is because they're cross-world demons or cross-world gods, if you want, because how powerful both they really are. If you don't know what I'm talking about, they're basically deal makers. They will not risk the deal if they actually have someone in their own pocket, their own control in making that deal. If they actually start talking, realize how powerful the other one really is, they'd be more interesting to actually make the contract. Because if they do, they ruin the chance to collect someone that powerful in their own set or use them. Like that sort of makes sense if they actually do start talking, or at least give us more conversation. Now, the third reason I believe they will not fight is the fact they're sort of kind of narcissists. Like, what should I start talking to you if I'm not interested in talking to them. In other words, think about they don't do anything if they I feel they benefit something. That's what I mean with narcissistic. Even that I'm not sure that's the right word to use. I could be wrong. Correct me down below if you use the right word. But besides that, this is the reason I felt they never really will fight because they have no winning of this fight. They just maybe talk it out, maybe just cuss themselves out. At the very end, why bother to fight if I don't win nothing out of this? I lose interest and they just walk away. And that's one of the few reasons why I do believe why they just won't fight because they're narcissists. Why do I gain doing this? Now, a fourth reason is maybe because they not they're what's the word? Sorry, I'm kind of lose my track here. Is the fact they're are loners. They prefer to be alone when actually talk to anyone because let's face it, that they prefer their own selves than someone to talk to. They probably be gentlemen saying hello, goodbye, but yet, yeah, if they both cross, they will probably would never really say anything or anything like that. At least in my own opinion. Now, the fifth thing could be very interesting is the fact if they do start talking, they will probably were realize one of the biggest interests is the similarity they have. Is the fact they like to see people being tortured by themselves. And that itself, that could be sort of an interesting way to keep them talking, keep themselves interested because that is sort of interesting to them. They have no reason to fight because they keep talking about something they actually enjoy. They, you could say even they could be kind of friends or even not friends. That's a very strong word using those two characters. You could say they're co-workers. That's the part of the best way to describe them if they actually decide to hang out, all of that. But this is a few reasons I believe they will never do that because they're strategists, they're narcissists, they're deal makers, they're loners, and they like to see people being tortured by them. They're the one being tortured, or they're the one who tortured them. But yet, once again, this is a few reasons I believe they will never really go at each other because at the very end, they are not fighters. At the very end, they just have no issue in fighting. And this is the reason why I do believe why they will not fight. In fact, do I miss anything that you do believe they will not fight? Of course, you completely disagree with me. That's completely fine. But this, I think, this is the main point I'm trying to make. There has no point of both of them fighting. Now, just for kicks and giggles, if they decide to fight, who actually win? Yeah, I really thought about that for a little while till I realized it's sort of how they're sort of written in the show. If you know how the character was written, you kind of understand who will win a fight in theory. Now, so I mean, you could disagree with me. That's fine. That's nothing wrong with that. That is, for example, Black Hat, how it's written in the show. He is the own powerful sort of god or beyond a god. That he has billions of soldiers and he easily just snap his finger and kill someone automatically. That's how powerful he is how he's sort of written. Alastor in his show, how he was written, is more like, yeah, he's powerful, but yet he still need to make power moves to actually control hell itself because he is powerful, but he's not that powerful to take so many overlords at once. Like he was that powerful, he really took down all the overlords. He also took down everyone who has political power in their own world. Compared to Black Hat, Black Hat has so many contracts, so many deals that he can actually manipulate whatever he wants to get what he wants. You could say Alastor to do the same thing, but yet people hate him so much they decide to not. Like you get the idea, the different power set, just how they're actually written. They have one limitation, the other one doesn't because how it could be written. The second thing would be sort of interesting is the fact they completely define them is the fact the show of Hospital Hotel, the whole idea is sort of can you forgive a sinner or redeem a sinner? And Alastor is a sinner. The whole point of the show is can you redeem Alastor? And the fans want him to redeem. In other words, he had to have a soul. He must care. Compared to Black Cat, he doesn't care. He has no idea what caring is or choose not to care because at the very end, he's there to be entertained. In other words, he is the essence of evil. And Alastor, to find this fight who will win is because Alastor needs to care. Because it's how the show sort of written. So tell me, someone who has empathy will win a fight who does not have empathy. Because if he does have empathy, Black Cat can actually use that. Because Black Cat doesn't care. The guy eats puppies for lunch just for kicks and giggles, even that he never needs to eat. And Alistair needs to eat to keep going to give his energy. That's what I mean. How easily can you see who will win in a fight just understanding how it actually written in a way. Of course, that's sort of my opinion. It's up to you how you felt, who will actually win. Your ideas, tell me down below. Let me know. And that's sort of the fun thing I wanted to make this video. Of course, you think I'm completely wrong. That's legitimate, right? What's your opinion about this sort of conversation? What do you think? Who will win? What do you think? Who will they never fight? Or I missed something down below? Tell me down below. I got nothing else to say. Just thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and have a wonderful day. Bye.